It's awesome to be here. I've got some fun stuff to talk about. I got a couple of videos because I want to keep it interesting, and I want to keep it relevant for you. So I want it to be something that is interactive a little bit. And so for those of you that don't know me, I flew F-16s. I was in the Air Force. I flew F-16s, and then I flew drones. I flew the MQ-9 Reaper, and now I work at Lockheed Martin up in Palmdale. And today is really exciting. You know, I'm sure nobody here has ever not gone to school for a day and just stayed home and played all day. That's kind of like my day today. It's super cool. So I'm not going to work today. I'm just here with you, just to talk, and I'm taking the day off of work. So it's kind of like playing hooky from school, but don't play hooky from school. That's bad. But I'm playing hooky from work. So come join me. So. Let's start off with a guilty pleasure of mine. I love putting together puzzles. Does anybody else love putting together puzzles? Yes. And around Christmas time is we always find, and it's normally a 1,000-piece puzzle, and the family helps out a little bit, but basically I just disappear and I just play on the puzzle all day, and it's just super awesome to start from just 1,000 pieces, and not even some of them are upside down and all you see is the brown cardboard on the back and you don't even see the picture. And then you have just the picture on the box that shows, well, this is what you're going to get to eventually. And you're like, I'm never going to get there. It's going to take so long. But then as you get there, it goes really, really slow and the progress is really painful at first. But then as you start, you get the outside edges together, and then you start seeing things, and then you start putting together a little corner area, and you start putting together another corner area. Then you start connecting big pieces. But sometimes you get close to the end of the puzzle, and you get a situation like this, and maybe a dog or a cat found a piece, or maybe somebody dropped a piece under the table or something, but sometimes you get to the very end of the puzzle and you're missing one piece. So it's a 1,000-piece puzzle and you're missing one piece. So you got 999 out of 1,000, but for some reason that one piece kind of ruins everything. It's all this enjoyment and all this man, I finally did it, but I didn't because there's one piece missing. And this is such a big thing that there's companies out there, and you could take this and you're missing the one piece on the head there. You can take the pieces around it and you can send it into this company and they will manufacture you the missing piece so that you can have your completed puzzle, and you pay a lot of money for it. It's kind of ridiculous a little bit, but I think that goes to show that we like things to be whole and we like things to be one, and when there's something missing, that missing thing's a really, really big deal. And we see that in the scripture, and I think back to Jesus, and he talks about the story of 100 sheep, right? And he has 100 sheep, one of them wanders away, and he just says, well, I got 99, that's close enough, right? Is that what happens? No, he leaves and goes and finds that one sheep so that he can bring it back, because he cares about unity. He cares about being all together and being complete because it matters. And then also, there's a section in John that you'll see up on the screen, and it talks about the importance of being one, and it's something that Jesus prayed for his disciples right before he went to the cross. And he prayed that we would be one because it's important. And it's something that's deep inside of our hearts and it's deep inside of our souls that we like things to be complete. So where does this take us? And so we're going to show a couple of videos. So I'll start with this one. So has anybody heard Like everybody talks about like a snowball rolling downhill, and what happens to the snowball? It gets bigger. Does it go faster? And so something that starts like really, really small, and we talk about it, we say it snowballs, right? Something snowballs, it gets bigger, and as it gets bigger, it gets faster, and it gets bigger, faster, and bigger, faster, and bigger, faster, and bigger, faster, and then you can have something that it kind of starts getting out of control, right? We'll go to the next one. Talk about something getting out of control. I hear oh no's. They're like, uh-oh, this is gonna be bad. And it is bad. So here we go. Anybody seen this video? So he's sitting in a warehouse. So this guy's sitting in a warehouse, and he works in the warehouse, and he's like, I wonder if this is flammable. And so, he sneaks over where nobody's watching, right, except for the camera. And then he takes out a lighter, and he lights it. And it catches fire, and it spreads really, really fast. And you see him like a couple of try to and it's like, uh-oh. And then all he can do is run away. So it's something that spreads, and it spreads really, really fast, and it can get out of control. I bring that up because there's something else that can get out of control, and it's something that I don't hear people talk about in that fashion, and it's kindness. And we all know what kindness is, and we all know that kindness is important, and we love it when people are kind to us, but then sometimes we're not kind back. So we'll start off, and we'll cover some scriptures here. So the first two are from Proverbs. So this is from King Solomon, who prayed for wisdom, and God granted him wisdom. And then what we have now is we have this whole book of Proverbs, which are wise sayings. So Proverbs 11:17 says, "A man who is kind benefits himself, but a cruel man hurts himself." So we see there is like being kind is an action towards others, but it actually helps us. And then in Proverbs 21 says, "Whoever pursues righteousness and kindness will find life, righteousness, and honor." So it benefits ourselves, and it benefits ourselves by helping us find life, find what's really important, find what matters, and find what's going to be fulfilling to us. And then righteousness, and I hope everybody here wants righteousness, right? That's something that we're called to as Christians. And then honor. All of those very important things. And then we go into Ephesians 4, where this is Paul speaking to the church at Ephesus. And he just finished talking about unity. And he just talked about how important it was to not be divided and to be one. So just like we talked about earlier, like we're called to unity, and we understand deeply, just like the puzzle, that being one is really important. And so he says, "Be kind to one another, tenderhearted, forgiving one another as God in Christ forgave you." And then in still Paul, his book to the church at Colossae, he says, "Put on then as God's chosen ones, holy and beloved, compassionate hearts, kindness, humility, meekness, and patience." So he gives us a list of different things that we should do, and one of them is kindness. And so kindness is where we're going to spend the most of the time talking. But now that I've just covered this, I think you guys need to see some more videos. Does anybody want to see more videos? Yeah? Okay, cool. Less talking, Mr. Fingers, more videos. That's what I'm hearing. Ready? All right. Maybe you've seen a video like this.
Would you take $2 right now or double it and give it to the next person?
I'll double it and give it to the next person.
Would you like $4 now or double it and give it to the next person?
You should double it.
$8.
Oh, double it?
Do you want $16 or double it and give it to the next?
Someone else needs it. Give it to the next.
30.
So where do these kind of videos go? Where do they go? Go ahead. Ooh, that's an interesting point. So they keep doubling it, right? And it gets really, really big, really, really fast. And either there's kind of one of two things happens. Either the number gets so ridiculously big that person can't actually pay it because it's way too much money. They don't have that money. That's one interesting one. I think normally these videos cut off before it gets to that point, or if it gets to that point, it was kind of a fake video anyway. But all these videos are real, right? No, they're not. So that's one end that could be. The other is that the number starts getting large, and somebody's like, I don't really care about being kind because I could really use $1,000 right now, right? So kind of one of two outcomes. But it's really interesting because these numbers start getting big, and people get caught up, just like the snowball rolling down the hill or a fire exploding. It's kind of adjacent. It's kind of close to this kindness idea, is that it just picks up steam and it gets really big and it gets really big. And people just start thinking like, oh, wow, well, I can double it. And it goes from $32 to $64, $64 to $128, $128 to $256, $256 to $512, $512 to $1,024, and it just keeps getting bigger. And they're like, wow, all I have to do is say double it, and it doubles. And every time it doubles, it gets bigger, faster. So that's one video. Here's another video. This one may be a little bit harder. What's that? What's that? So he's working on a car. I see a hand raised right back here. Yeah? Very good, very good. He says the description says when the repair costs more than your car. And so you get these whole groups of videos that are out there, and there's people that find people who are driving really dangerous and really, really broken down cars, and they go and repair them for free. And they're kind to them. They show them kindness. And these videos kind of go viral, and they go, they get a lot of views, and there's people that do this full time. And they fix people's cars. And it's just another example of kindness. And I've got one more video, one more category.
We could definitely use a little bit of TLC, so I think we'll get cleaned up for the neighborhood here.
Hey everyone, this is Spencer with SB Mowing, and while headed to another job, I turned down the street and drove right by this overgrown mess. So I jotted down the address and came back later to get it all cleaned up.
Anybody seen those videos? It's like so satisfying, right? So satisfying. It starts as just a total mess, which is like when I was your age, maybe like kind of what my room looked like. But then I got told I couldn't play video games until I cleaned up my room. And so I cleaned up the room, and then it looked really, really nice. So it's kind of that idea. I'm not going to take questions right now. We'll probably get to that. But in this video, again, it's showing kindness. It's still sticking on the kindness theme. And it's just something I want you to think about. It's like, why do these videos, why are they successful? Yes, it's satisfying to see something go from total chaos into order and to something that looks actually nice. But it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work to do all that. So why kindness? Well, there's three different reasons that I'm going to talk about, and we could sit here and we could talk for hours, but you guys have to make a Christmas video, and then there's another chapel service that I've got to speak at too. So we'll go through this. So unity is one reason. When we're kind, we bring people together, and kindness can be a lot of things. It can be our actions. It can be our words. It could just be being there for somebody, checking up on somebody. And we bring people together, and we know that we love unity. The next part is living by the Spirit. And in the fruit of the Spirit, you see kindness specifically called out as one of the fruit of the Spirit. And then the last reason that I'll give to you is that it's contagious. It's something just like that snowball, just like a fire. It can grow, and it can grow out of control. And if we're going to have something that's going to grow out of control, let's let it be kindness. That sounds like a way better idea. There's other things that can grow out of control that are not nearly as kind or nice as kindness. So let's double down. Let's do kindness. So I'll close this out with the challenge. So start or continue something kind. So think about the gifts that you have, what you're good at, and challenge is to find a way to do something kind for somebody, but not like your bestest friend, not your bestie, somebody else. Somebody maybe that you don't normally talk to, that you don't normally interact with, but be kind to that person. If somebody's kind to you, then just like in those double it videos, like double it and pass it on. Be kind to two people and just see how it can grow. And maybe for this crowd, this next point isn't going to be so impactful, but for the parents and for the teachers here, what's in your feed? What's in your social media feed? Are those the videos that you see in social media feed? Are they positive? Are they negative? You hear the algorithm talked about, and the algorithm really is just a fancy word for fancy math. And it's just fancy math, and it doesn't care what you watch. It just cares that you watch. Because the more you watch, the more advertisements they can show you, the more money they make, and that's really all they care about. It's very simple. And so use the algorithm to your benefit. And look on your social media. Are you seeing positive things? Are you seeing things that are kind? Are you seeing things that are building you and others up or not? You can use likes, you can use dislikes to affect that. But I think the most important or the most effective way to impact that is you start seeing things that you don't like, turn it off. Turn off the app. Don't use it for a day or two. And see what the algorithm does for you. And then the last thing is reflection from a challenge. It's always good, and as a pilot, this was something that we did. We'd go, we'd plan for 3 or 4 hours to go fly 1 hour, and then we would debrief for 8 hours. So we would spend more time than we did planning and executing, and we'd spend more than that time, almost double that time, just seeing what we did, how we did, and reflecting on that. So we'd reflect. So for kindness, reflect and think about what you did today to show kindness to others. Sometimes you're going to do great, and sometimes you're not. And the times that you're not, look for those opportunities that you missed. And say, man, like I could have been kind to this person. I saw this person fall down, and next time, I'm going to go and check. I'm not going to sit there and wait and see if anybody else runs over and checks on them. I'm not going to wait to see if a teacher goes checks on them. I'm just going to drop what I'm going to do, what I'm doing, and I'm going to go help. And that is how you really get some change. And so that's the last that I have for you. Thank you so much. You guys were awesome today. I hope you have a great time with your video. And just remember, be kind. And thank you, SCCS. We'll see you next time.